folks. It's November 24th, and tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for, but I need your undivided attention. I've been trying to raise money for a Senate race in Connecticut, and I hear there's another opponent now who just told me last week he wasn't going to run. But the GOP supports him, not me, which is fine. There'll be one person who wins the primary, and their actions may cause Richard Blumenthal to win again. It's just a fact. There's only one person equipped to take Richard Blumenthal off the race. Knock him out, and you're looking at him. So, did get one campaign contribution this week that I want to mention. Michael Zumblaskas sent me $100. He's running for Congress in Manhattan. He's smart. He's ethical. He won't win unless you help him. If you're not helping the right people, like Mr. Bullock, like Mr. Bronovich from Arizona, if you don't help these people running for Senate win, it's on you. Because today's topic is super important. Again, let me put it on screen. I urge you to watch this video. I just shared it on my page. It's called Nasty, Nasty People, 17 Arrests. You've got to view it. Maybe I'll take myself off the screen for a moment. But it's of utmost importance because it's about child predators, sexual battery, and lots of other things.
I can tell you that one of the people that we are talking about today was HIV positive. Did you hear what I'm telling you? He's HIV positive. He showed up to have unprotected sex with what he thought was a child. Now, if that's not the worst of the worst, I can't imagine how it gets any worse. The guy is HIV positive. Let me say that again because, you just can't believe it when you hear it the first time. He's HIV positive. He shows up to have what he thinks is going to be unprotected sex with a child, with a little girl. Fortunately, our detectives were there instead of a 13-year-old child. But guess what? Had it been a curious little girl as opposed to our very experienced detectives, she would have been directly exposed to HIV this weekend. And then there's Thomas Snyder. He is a custodian. There's something with custodians this operation. But he works for Valencia Hills Nursing and Rehab Center in Lakeland. He thought he was showing up to have sex with a 14-year-old boy. In fact, he was at work when he was carrying on the conversations with the undercover operatives.
Needless to say, what this gentleman is talking about is the arrest of 17 people in the normal course of his business and duty as an Orlando detective. He started this video describing how 2 Disney employees were online trying as sexual predators to attract 13 and 14-year-old kids to have sex. Here we go. Go through all these people on this video, and they'll describe, nurses molesting patients, nurses, down custodians of different types of supply companies, and what steps they took to try to interact over the internet and find.
You can't make this up. You can't make up what I'm about to tell you. He says, I like smelly feet.
I like smelly feet.
Did you hear that? He likes smelly feet. He wanted to smell the little boy's feet. It didn't work well.
If you skip
He
around
doubled
it,
down.
there's
And we
ads.
trumped him.
You can go through and see.
Then there's Jared Justice, all the way from Los Angeles, California. He showed up on vacation, but he only needed to buy a one-way ticket because he's not flying back to Los Angeles anytime soon. He's married. Mrs. Justice, did you hear that? Your married husband
Let's go to 27
showed up
minutes.
from Los Angeles. Arrest of Eric Rowe. Let me tell you about Eric Rowe. He's 32 years of age. We have him charged with capital sexual battery of a child that he had access to. He has been inappropriately touching this 8-year-old child. He has been inappropriately touching this
For
8-year-old
4
child
years.
since she was 4 years old. And we have documented by his own admission that there has been at least 10 molestations during that period of time by his statements. When it was discovered that he had actually sexually battered this child, who's now 8 years of age, he made the statement that his conduct was animalistic. I agree with that. He said he's ashamed of himself. I agree with that, but it's a little too late. So when you think that this guy was attacking a girl, a baby, from the time she was 4 until she was 8, when it just came to our attention the other day, and he actually made a statement that the victim would need psychological counseling, then he said, for what we did together.
Folks, this is a problem. It's not just Orlando's problem. There was a sexual predator in Norwalk, and he was a cop. And I knew him from high school. And we're paying his pension now because our prosecutors cut him a deal and promoted his partner to the state's attorney office to handle investigations. His name is McCosey. He's involved in a murder. He covered up the evidence, and I have it. And I've been in the court fighting these guys, and I'm getting anonymous complaints. I'm getting anonymous threats. And I'm telling you right now that I'm going to start arresting these people personally. And I don't care what the governor says. Did you see what the governor did last week? He arrested a political opponent, Navy veteran with 8 years experience, who confronted Lamont on Twitter and said he committed treason. And then he gave what the punishment for treason is. Well, his arraignment's on November 29th at 10 o'clock in New London, and there's a group of people who are going to go to the arraignment. Well, I suggest that everyone be peaceful. No terminology that can be considered threatening in the second degree. Observe, say nothing. Say nothing. Have a sign with words that are non-threatening. Observe, and then there is a remedy. It is legal, it is lengthy, it is costly, and we need to pay for it. So what I'm saying is Michael Zimblakis, who's running for Congress, who needs his own money to run his own race, contributed to mine. And we've contributed to over 250 campaigns this year. And we're counting on the GOP to support us, but it's obvious that that isn't coming anytime soon. So it'll be a long, drawn-out battle where the Republicans that fund the wrong candidate will be losing that money, putting it in a campaign that will spend a lot to get nowhere fast. So my goals in my race are different. A, stop the judicial misconduct. I'm working on it alone. B, stop the prosecutorial misconduct. I'm working on it alone. Look at the staff of Richard Colangelo. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you don't, you should follow this campaign. Look at why Norwalk is paying the pension of a child predator who was a cop in Norwalk. I'm giving evidence to the FBI in Connecticut for over 20 years. I was a whistleblower against Bernie Madoff. What protections did I get? None. Yes, we have 1,200 stolen checks cashed by Harry Rilling's Norwalk Police Department. And I'm not making the police look bad. Not the 90% that are ethical. This is a guy in my campaign. Can I call you back, brother?
What's that?
Can I call you back in a few? I'm in the middle of a video, unless you want to say hello.
No, call me back in a few, please.
Absolutely, my friend. That's my media guy who wants to remain anonymous. And an opponent of mine keeps going on Fox and Friends, which I could easily do, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's wise, because it's not the Republicans we need to win over. It's the middle of the road independents, the unaffiliated, and the Democrats we need to win over. How many Democrats have been victimized, for example, in New Haven, with a crime rate, a violent crime rate of 1,400 people annually, when in fact in New Haven only 1,000 people voted for the Republican candidate in the recent municipality mayor race. And he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. The fact remains, how do you win Democrats over? How do you get people to come back to the party? How do you get people to trust that something good could happen? Well, why are we paying a pedophile's pension in Norwalk and allow Makosi to compromise the evidence as the partner of Thomas Cummings? And why was he promoted to now be in position to cover up murder evidence of an African-American boy on his 23rd birthday, where a bribe was paid, which the state's attorney collected? And believe me, folks, Johnny's taking a risk. But if you want to win with Flynn, well, then you need to send money, because federal races are not supported on the state's budget. The Republican Party doesn't care about about federal races. I just went through the RTC meeting of Norwalk 2 days ago. Not a mention that I'm running for U.S. Senate. Not a mention. I'm in District B, South Norwalk. District B, this and that. District B is doing a terrible job. Really? District B had the mayoral candidate and a U.S. Senate candidate running at the same time. We're the only two members of our district. If anyone's carrying the weight of the Norwalk RTC, it's the mayoral candidate and the U.S. Senate candidate. Because the rest of them are just saying, oh boy, we gotta do things differently. Really? Really? I'm astonished at how poor we are doing. Astonished. The only way to change that is to deal with the people who are working on a voluntary basis for my campaign. We must have 20 volunteers at this point. We have a new one named Stephanie who deserves a world of credit. She's signing debate candidates for debateattorney.com. She's volunteering to send 4,500 letters out to debateattorney.com, where we have a forum of phone voter apps debates. And let me tell you something. There was a debate tournament for the 2020 presidential election. Guess who won it? Yours truly. Guess who prevailed due to content which we are providing? This is content, folks, about child predators. So if you don't get behind the people in law enforcement that are ethical and legal, that aren't running a check fraud business, we have a chance. And they are closing in, I am told, on Harry Rilling, my mayor, for tax evasion. I am told that. I've been supplying evidence for a very long time, and there's emails I'm getting from people all over the state. Look into this, look into that, look into the other thing. We're about to finish the Waterbury investigation of human trafficking. We've been promised 2 interviews from 2 victims of trafficking at the Apple Hotel. And if we get it, I'll tell you right now, it exposes the Waterbury Police Department to gigantic liability. There we go. 17 minutes. I appreciate your time and effort. Let's uncover videos, share, and now we have a 3-way race for the U.S. Senate in Connecticut. 2 of us are working together against the 3rd. But we'll see what happens. It's important to me. I hope it's important to you. Have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving. And please share, watch, and contribute to all the campaigns that are important. Unfortunately, I think this campaign that we're working on right now, the Blumenthal, unseating of Blumenthal, is the most important campaign in the state. Why haven't we heard from Bob or Themis or Dominic or Mike or, Larry or... Okay, they don't want me to affect their chances of winning. The most important seat is the one that we are going for, because Blumenthal wrote the Iran deal. Blumenthal wrote the Green New Deal. Look at the recent bill that passed. It provides amnesty to 7 million people. The problem with providing amnesty is that Jose Reyes is on the list. Do you know who Jose Reyes is? 2 DWIs released, back on the street, and then he committed murder as an undocumented alien. Really, folks? Senator Chris Murphy committed treason multiple times, okay? He visited Iran officials in Germany in a secret meeting during the Trump administration. He threatened the Ukraine president, and he's a U.S. Senator for the state of Connecticut. Who's going to go after these guys like me? I tried to sue him. For treason. I can't find a marshal willing to do it, and he had no property in Connecticut to serve him at. So he knows he committed treason, and he's staying outside the marshal service. And I'm told there's 25,000 marshals that were empowered to enforce the Constitution in the Constitution state. Let's see if it actually happens. I'm at 20 minutes, and I thank you. Have a great holiday. Let's pick it up after the turkey. We've already had our first Thanksgiving with one of my sisters, and we're going to have the second tomorrow with leg of lamb. We have a few seats available. We're having 9 for dessert after 6 for dinner, so we can fit a few more dinners, and we can fit a lot more desserts. If you bring a pie, you can bring friends. I'll give you the address if you contact me, and if you're a supporter, you're absolutely welcome. Actually, all are welcome. All are welcome. Have a great day, and thank you.